This episode was playing 0 games. Holy shit.
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right, welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. Dexter Resurrection, episode 9. Fuck me. Oh my God. Okay, the first 10 minutes of this episode were insane. Let me say this before I get into this review. This show is so fucking good, it's not even funny. I feel like they have really, the writers and creators, developers of this show have really done the right justice and stayed with the integrity of this entire legacy of this show, the character Dexter Morgan. I mean, the fact that you guys started off how many years ago and you did that show, the second show, and now this one. Dexter Resurrection is rivaling a lot of shit. Game of Thrones writers, creators, y'all could take some notes. This is how you carry out a legacy of a TV show. Anyway, I digress. I am back. Woo, this episode, I was like, holy crap. Anyway, so we pick up right where we left off. Dexter and Harrison sitting at that table at that restaurant, and Leon Prater walking in going, "Red, I didn't know you had a son." Dexter, the look on his face, fucking fury. Pure fury. Pure fury. Furious, child. So Harrison recognizes Leon Prater and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Leon Prater." And he's like, "Dad, how do you know this guy?" So Peter Dinklage with his suave ass fucking self, he shakes Harrison's hand. Dexter is like, we met, he what is it? He made up some lie like he got a ride in one of my one of my cars and that's how we met. We just got to talking. So he's sitting there like just Dexter ready to just. So Leon's like, "Wow, this is fascinating to know that, I thought I knew everything about you, to know that you had a son." So Harrison is like, "Oh my God, I've watched like 5 of your TED Talks, blah, blah, blah." He's gushing over homeboy, and Dexter is just sitting there like, the fuck? So Leon Prater is asking Harrison, about his plans and his future, asking him his story, because Harrison has no idea. "Oh no, I just moved here. I work at the Empire Hotel and I plan on going back to school." Dexter interrupts him like, "No, he's trying to stay focused. You know, uh, Mr. Prater, do you mind if I talk to you, like in private, And Prater's like, "Of course." So he turns to Harrison and he's like, "I would like to have dinner with you. Maybe we can meet and talk sometime." And Harrison's like, "Of course." The way the way Dexter stood up from that table in Papa Bear mode, because he was like, "You're not about to play with my son. Like, I'll get you here in this restaurant in front of everybody." That was the energy that I was getting. The acting in this scene from Michael C. Hall, fucking A1. A1. Michael C. Hall is ridiculous. Outstanding actor. Then you throw in Peter Dinklage and homeboy playing Harris. Excuse me. My goodness. Anyway, this was such a good episode. Oh my God. So they walk out the restaurant, and of course, Uma Thurman, Charlie, is standing out there leaning against the car and she waves, right? So Dexter, pissed, and he's like, "So you're following me again?" And he goes, "Well, I wouldn't have to do that if we had a, open communication of trust." And he's like, "First you quit your job, move out of your apartment to a place where we don't know where you live, and now I find out you have a son." And he's like, "If we had an open communication of trust, I wouldn't have to do this, Dexter." So Dexter's like, "I stand there, but keep away from my fucking son." Like the way he was warning him, Dexter was not playing with Leon Prater. Every code that all flew out the window when they got his son involved. I was loving it. I've said this in every review. Dexter Morgan is becoming more human this season, and I am so here for it. when he gets into Papa fatherhood, Papa mode, I'm here for it. He was not playing in this scene. He wasn't playing with Leon Prater and Uma Thurman in this scene. Was not playing about his kid. Fantastic. So anyway, Peter Dinklage is like, I just want you to know it hurts my feelings basically that you don't trust me because I've opened up to you more than anyone ever. That includes serial killers and everybody else. So he's like, I trust you and I want you to be able to trust me. And he's like, and this was more of a this was I can't talk. This was more of a precaution on Charlie's sake, talking about Uma Thurman. He passes it off like she's the one that was more about doing the heavy security on Red, her suspicions. And Peter Dinklage was like, I adore you, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I would like to set up a time where we can meet. And I want you to tell me everything about yourself, your childhood, growing up, what your parents were like. I want to know everything. I want to know why you are the way that you are. That way, we won't have any more secrets between each other. And then we won't have to have situations like this where you're being followed. So Dexter's like, okay, that's fine. He goes, but stay away from my son. And then he touches him. He's like, trust goes both ways. And Prater agrees, So Dexter's like, so you're going to stop having me followed? And he's like, of course. Um, so Peter Dinklage and Charlie leave. Dexter immediately panicking gets back in the restaurant. Harrison, we have to go. Get your stuff. We have to go right now. Excuse me, we need the check. The waitress. Oh no, you're okay. Mr. Prater. Mr. Prater already paid for your bill, and he also ordered you a lovely dessert wine. It's a very expensive bottle. Dexter was like, we don't need it. Keep it. Gets him, they dip out. So they're walking down the street, and Dexter's like, listen, I need you to listen to me. And Harrison's like, how do you know Leon Prater? So he ends up telling him, tells him the whole story about the rideshare driver, the dark passenger, how he took the dude's identity, found the invitation, showed up at that house, tells him everything that's led up, how he's taken out everybody one by one out the group, except for the Rapunzel killer, obviously. And so Harrison's like, damn. So he's like, I noticed I kept saying like a lot last week when I was go back and watching my review. I apologize because I annoyed myself. So I know I annoyed y'all. Sorry about that. I will do better. I am from California. Not an excuse, but it is what it is. Anyway, so they're like dipping and diving, going through different things because Dexter believes that they're still being followed. And they are being followed. And guess who's following them? Because it ain't Charlie and it ain't Prater. Motherfucking Batista, y'all. Batista is not giving up at all. Not at all. So Batista has been taking pictures of them. He took pictures of Dexter and Leon Prater outside that restaurant, and now he's following Dexter and Harrison. Dexter and Harrison end up going down into a subway. They get on the subway car. Batista squeezes in, and basically Dexter's telling Harrison, like, listen, he low key is like, this shit is dangerous, which Harrison obviously picks up on and comments on it. He's like, this lifestyle that you live, like, yeah, Dexter, it's not good. It's not good. But he tells Harrison, I think it would be better if you stayed with me, just until things blow over, which I agree. These people are scary. And what's crazy is it's so funny how Dexter is planning all of this with Harrison. Meanwhile, it's like, did you forget about the crocodile with the TikTok with the TikTok and clock coming for your ass, Captain Hook? His name is Batista, baby, and he's not playing. So Batista, of course, is watching them on the subway. Dexter links out, slips out the doors real quick, leaving Harrison on the subway car, and Batista's standing there because he was like, "Damn, he didn't get him." So he ends up, of course, losing track of them, and this episode from minute one, it was like, correction, Dexter in this scene does not tell Harrison to come have him stay at his house. He tells him to lay low. Lay low and avoid Leon Prater, in that order. So Harrison is at work, and his friend that works in the valet ends up coming up to him, and he's like, listen, you want to make some money being a catering waiter at this event? It's $45 an hour. And Harrison's like, hell yeah, I'm in. And he's like, what is it? And he goes, "Oh, it's for that event that Leon Prater's throwing, the gala for the policemen." So Harrison goes, you know what? You know what? Never mind. On second thought, I have some other stuff that I have to do and I may not have the time. And dude's like, "Are you crazy? We're going to be there for 12 hours, what all you can eat and what drink and all this stuff." And Harrison's like, "No, I'm good." So Harrison is he's about to leave. This is like the employee like lounge area. So his boss, the British black dude with the cool hairdo who we haven't seen in a while. "Harrison, I was just looking for you. You've specifically been requested for room service." And he's like, "Okay." And he tells him the room. So Harrison goes up to this room, knocks on the door, "Room service." I just hit the mic. Sorry, y'all. Or camera stand. Sorry. So Dexter knocks on the door, "Room service." Door opens, and the voice is like, "Just bring the cart into the room." And it's a woman, and you see behind the door is Charlie, Uma Thurman. So he walks in with the cart with the room service on it, and he's setting up the the table with the room, the food and the glasses, the orange juice, yada yada. So she closes the door, he turns around, and he immediately knows who she is. And she goes, "Harrison." And she's like, "Thank you so much." She's like, "Okay, no problem." And she goes, "Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? Mr. Prater likes to vet all of his people before coming to his home." And he's like, "Okay." And she goes, "Why is your last name Morgan when your father's last name is Schmidt?" And he's like, Harrison, quick thinking, "Oh, I took my mother's last name, Hannah Morgan," immediately. And he's like, "Why are you, inquires about like, why are you asking me this?" And she's again, Leon Prater vetting folks. Actually, I think I got that order wrong, but it doesn't matter because he's nervous and he knows what's going on. So at one point he's like, "You know what?" He goes, she asks him something else, and he goes, "Well, I gotta go. I gotta get back to my shift." And she goes, "Actually, you don't. I spoke to your boss and told him, the circumstances regarding Mr. Prater, and he told me that I have you for the rest of your shift if I need you. So why don't you have a seat? You know, tell me about your whole life growing. Tell me about you. Tell me it all. Tell me your story." I keep hitting this stand. I'm sorry, you guys. So he's like, "Okay." So the scene cuts to Dexter calling, or I'm sorry, the scene cuts to Harrison calling Dexter, and Harrison is like, "Such and such came to visit me today. She was asking me a bunch of questions." Dexter's tripping. He's like, "What happened? What did she say?" He asked about she asked me about my last name, and then she wanted to know my history. So Harrison starts going, "Well, he goes, I told her the truth." And Dexter's like, "Huh?" So we go into the flashback of him telling Uma Thurman everything. He tells her that Red left them when he was 5. He was raised in Chicago, blah, 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 blah. He ended up reconnecting with him. His father found him here in New York City. Da 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 da. It sounded and it sounds legit the way he was telling it to her, because she was kind of like, but she's somewhat buying it, somewhat not, but he's selling it. He's selling it. So then he says, "You know what, Pop, I'm really sorry because I revealed something." So she's like, she asked him about, sorry, my alarm went off. So he sells it, and she seems to be buying the story. I mean, somewhat, but again, like I said, he sells it. So then he says, "Pop, don't get upset because I kind of revealed, I said too much basically." So she says something. She asked him something to the effect of, "Are you, are you, how do you feel about your dad? Are you satisfied with him?" Something similar to that. He's like, I mean, he's just, or no, "Do you know that your real dad?" Something like that. And he's like, he's just, kind of a middle-aged, uh, rideshare driver. And she starts laughing hysterically because remember, they all think that Ronald Schmidt, Red, used to work at the IT company. He just killed rideshare drivers. So that was kind of a reveal. So Dexter wasn't even mad. So he says something wild to Harrison. He says, "You know what? Sometimes you have to tell a little bit of the truth to sell the lie. I was like, well, all right then. So this is when Dexter says to Harrison, he says, listen, the fact that they showed up to the job is not good. So I want you to stay with me. I'm going to call you later on tonight with instructions and you're going to come to my house. And he's like, okay, cool. So next scene, Dexter runs upstairs to Blessing, and Blessing is still pissed at him because he revealed his kind of child warmonger type business to Blessing's daughter, so he still feels some types of way. So anyway, he comes in the house and he's like, Blessing, I really need a favor. I fell out. Blessing's like, what are you doing here? Why are you in my house after the way you destroyed my life, telling my business? You know, so Dexter, of course, is like, and he goes, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. Sometimes I talk too fast. I was trying to be understanding to your daughter, and I didn't know, I didn't realize that I was going to be, betray you, and I'm sorry, basically. Blessing immediately forgives him, immediately. And he was like, thank you, Dexter. And he goes, okay, so what about this favor? So Dexter's like, can you pick up Harrison from work after his shift tonight and bring him back here? And he's like, of course, I would treat your son like my own. Thank you, Blessing. We need you to do that. So next scene, Dexter is prowling around in somebody's house, and we find out that it's Charlie, Uma Thurman's house. So he's walking through the house. He sees that she has all these pictures of herself and her mom, and you find out that she's actually ex-military, and so was her mother, which is kind of dope. I knew she was a little badass. I love that. So he's walking through. He walks upstairs. It looks like she lives on like a 3-storied brownstone. Fantastic. It's giving Brooklyn. Anyway, so he gets to the second level, and as he's walking up the stairs and turns the corner, he sees like part of a door is open, and he sees her mom in a hospital bed being tended to by a caretaker, like a nurse. So he's like, she takes care of her mother. Okay. So he goes back down the stairs, leaves, and so we see Uma Thurman stopping over at this little flower stand. And turns out the lady knows her, and she's like, more flowers for your mother. And she's like, yeah, these really nice flowers. So she goes to get in her car. She gets in the car, and guess who's in the back seat? Dexter Morgan with red little wire strappy thing that he would wrap around the rideshare drivers before he the heads off. Okay, before he Marie Antoinetted they ass. So he's like, drive. So of course she's like freaked out, and he's like, I told you guys to stay the fuck away from my son. And he's like, what the fuck? So basically she's like, it's not me. This is Mr. Prater. He wanted to know more. He didn't like that you lied to him, and he wanted to know more about your son. So Dexter's like, what is his deal? And she basically reveals it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Before all of that, Dexter goes, I was at your house and I saw your mom. You take care of your mother. And he's like, what is Leon Prater's deal? So that's when she basically is like, Prater exploits people. He finds out what your weakness is and he exploits you. He knows that my weakness is my mother. My mother has a very rare disease and she needs everything to keep her alive. Because Dexter's whole thing is, why are you working for this motherfucker? You over here doing, fought for your country, doing things of, actions of valor, and you over here, doing grimy shit for Leon Prater, who collects serial killers. And she basically is like, yeah, I need this money to keep my mama alive. He has access to all the best resources. I don't particularly like it, but this is what it is. So, and she's like, he uses your weakness to exploit you. And clearly your weakness is your son. So, Dexter's pissed. So he's like, keep driving. So they're driving, and she's telling more about Prater in this whole situation. And that's when he learns that she's telling all the tea. This is why he hired Uma Thurman. He hired her because he wants to get all the serial killers together for this little club. And Dexter, Ron, Red, whatever, you a part of it, boo. You are a part of it. So Dexter tells her to pull over because he's like, so she's just as much a victim and she's just as much as stuck as everybody else. So he takes the thing from around her neck. No, before he lets her go, he's like, Stay the fuck away from my fucking son. Period. Takes the thing off her neck, jumps out the car, dips. So Uma, of course, is shook because she's like, okay, so next we meet up with the two detectives on the hotel incident, Detective Wallace, and I forget her partner's name. So they're in there shooting this shit, and Batista walks in because they called him, and he's happy because he's thinking, all right, we made a breakthrough here. So Detective Wallace, the woman, she's like, she gets right to the point. I love it. She's right, very dragnet, very right to the point. So I called Miami Metro PD and talked to your colleague, Detective Quinn. And Batista's face cracked. He was like, he even sunk back like, ah. And she goes, basically, turns out you are not an active employed police officer, let alone the captain of a whole damn department. So Batista is like, he's trying to explain. He's like, listen, I wasn't fired. I retired voluntarily so I could go after Dexter Morgan to prove that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher. And she's like, she basically is like, listen, you have been violating New York state law, penal code, whatever, and you've been impersonating a police officer. Basically you've been impersonating a police officer. You're not having active duty, but you over here acting like you have active duty. She asks for his badge back and basically tells him, I need you to get out of here. If I catch you around here again, I'm going to arrest you. She basically does the old school, Wild West, old school Western. I want you to get out of town by sundown. Otherwise, I'm coming for you. I was here for it. I was here for it. Poor Batista. And so he's so upset. He's like, and she tells him, she goes, we spoke to Detective Morgan and he mentioned about you guys losing your friends, Detective Dokes, and your ex-wife, LaGuarta. And of course he's like pissed. And he goes, you spoke to him? And he goes, that's what he does. Dexter spins things. He spins stuff and somehow people believe him. And then at one point he was like, he burrows himself into people's lives. And what's funny, everything he said he was right about. He was right. But it just sucks in this situation. So that's when she's like, I need you to get out of here. You guys to go. If I catch you around here again, I'm going to lock that ass up. Bye. So Batista, of course, is defeated, right? So he's walking through the police station towards the exit and he sees this banner, which is an advertisement for the big gala that Leon Prater is throwing. And who's on the front? Leon Prater with all the police officers. So he looks at him like, pulls out his phone, starts rummaging through the pictures, and sees the picture of Dexter with Leon Prater, child. So he's like, ding, 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 light bulb. Ooh. So now we're with Leon Prater and Charlie, Uma Thurman, y'all. And Prater is talking to her about what happened with Red in the car with the whole neck thing and calling them out for following Harrison. And so Prater, of course, he's sick. This man is sick. You could tell he's reveling in the fact that this happened, right? And he likes it. He likes it. He likes the unpredictableness of Red so far. So he's like, he says to her, can I see it? And she's, kind of like whatever. So she unzips her jacket and her neck is bandaged up. So she unloosens the bandage and shows him the scar. And he's like, isn't this amazing, Charlie? This is great for you. You survived the Dark Passenger. You're one of the only survivors to survive, like living survivors. Of course, he doesn't know about blessings, dude. Why would he? So, and she's just kind of like, I don't fucking care. And he goes, can I touch it? She's like, he goes to touch it. And he ends up touching a little bit of the blood. This motherfucker is smelling his fingers. This motherfucker's crazy. This nigga gotta go. They gotta get rid of him. He is a mess. Leon Prater is one to be foiled with. And I'm going to call back to what Harrison reminded Dexter on that subway platform. He said, whenever you get close to other serial killers or killers specifically, somebody close to you ends up getting hurt. It happened with the Trinity killer. He killed mom and he could have killed me. And Dexter, of course, stops and is like, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. So here we are, fast forward to Leon Prater's goofy ass smelling Uma Thurman's blood. This motherfucker's crazy. Motherfucker's crazy. So phone rings. It's Red, aka Dexter, and he's like, listen, he said, no, I'm sorry. I can't remember who called who. Somebody called somebody. But either way, both of them are about to set up each other. So Dexter is like, I really want to see you. I want to talk to you, but I want to talk to you alone. Just me and you. Because I only trust you. And Prater's like, smiling, of course. He's very happy about it. And he goes, well, when you come to my house, use the servants entrance. We're gonna have a lot of activity at my home for the gala. Meet me up in the penthouse. It'll just be me and you. Interesting. So Batista, because he's not giving up. He really don't have shit to lose now. He goes to where the gala is being held, which is one of the many entrances or whatever buildings that Prater owns. And he knocks on the door, and this security guard comes to the front, and he's like, I need to speak to Leon Prater. And the guy's like, do you have an appointment? No, but I'm the captain of the Miami. And he goes to reach, and he remembers he had to give his badge back to Detective Wallace after she called his ass out. And he's like, listen, I need you to listen to me. My name is Detective Angel Batista of Miami Metro PD. Leon Prater's life is in danger. I need to talk to him. And the dude's like, if you don't have an appointment, you're not talking to him. So they start getting into an argument back and forth. And dude thinks that he's going to get one on Angel, but no. Angel does this little slick move, gets dude. Other goons come out. Angel's fighting up the goons. Angel's whooping everybody's ass. They eventually get him, but it took a bunch of people to get him because he whoops everybody's ass. So the next scene, it's Angel sitting there sitting in an office, and behind him are all the goons' asses that he whooped with Charlie, Uma Thurman in the room. That shit was hilarious. So Prater comes in, and he's basically like, what is this about? And Charlie says, well, he says that your life is in danger. So Batista pulls out his cell phone. She takes it and hands it to, or shows it to Peter Dinklage, Leon Prater. And Batista says, how do you know this man? And so Prater looks at it and he goes, Mr. Schmidt? And he goes, no, Dexter Morgan. So they look at each other, and he goes, I worked with Dexter Morgan for 20 years at the Miami Metro PD. So, the invisible mic drops. So Leon Prater and Charlie are looking at each other like, exchanging glances like, you got me. What? What? Say what? So the next scene, Dexter, of course, is at home doing that whole fingertip trick thing that he needs for when he goes to Prater's house to go up to that penthouse. Because remember, that's what he needed to prove that he was Ronald Schmidt, aka Red's identity the first time. So he does that. He's putting it on his thumb, and he's going up to the house to have this meeting. So Dexter gets to this penthouse. He walks in. He's greeted by Prater, Charlie, and he brings him over to that vault with all the serial killer tokens. So he says, I wanted to have the conversation in the vault where it's more private, Dexter Morgan. Dexter's like, and he goes, I knew something was odd about you when I brought you into this room. So at this point, the vault's open. He's walking in, and he goes, when I was showing you these tokens, especially the Bay Harbor Butchers, the blood splatter when he, with where he keeps the tokens in the little, the blood slides. So, and he's like, imagine us having the Bay Harbor Butcher. And Dexter's just like, so as he's leading him over, on the table, gagged and bound and tied up, is Batista. So Dexter's like, he's like, so Leon Prater with his crazy, goofy ass So he's just relishing in this whole fact. Oh, Dexter, I knew it, and this is amazing, blah, blah, blah. So he says to him, what I want to do is, the fact that we have you, I want you to be a part of this with me. You took out everybody. It's amazing how how did you do it? Gemini killer, Lady Vengeance, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, I want to have, I want to do business with you. I want you to work with me. I want me and you to scour the globe for all the serial killers and have them be a part of our little club. It'll be 1 week out of the year, you know, and the price of admission is we get to see the Bay Harbor Butcher do one of his kills live and in living color, child. So Dexter's like, and Batista, of course, is, and even Uma Thurman, Charlie is like winces about it, and Peter Dinklage, of course, comments on it. And he's like, I know Charlie doesn't like it, but he's like, this is the price of admission. Basically, sell your soul to me. Let's look for serial killers around the world. I'll pay you that good money for debauchery and bullshit for 1 week out of the year. But the reality is, I own your ass. I own you the way I own everything else in this vault. So Dexter, of course, is listening to this, and he's looking at Batista on this, the table that the Bay Harbor Butcher that he used. And so he goes over, and Leon Prater, of course, one of the tokens is that one of the knives that he used, the Bay Harbor Butcher used. So he hands it to Dexter, and he's like, do it with, do it with this. So he goes over, he's standing over Batista. He's got the knife up. He's ready. And that's when that good old conscience kicks in. And he's like, I worked with him. He was my friend for 20 years. And this is a violation of the code. Don't get caught. So he goes to slice down like you think he's going to stab him. And he slices the harnesses loose and lets Batista go. Batista's ass jumps up in Dexter's face, pushes his ass against the wall. They are now fighting. He hits him, throws Dexter on the ground, rips the tape off his mouth. And he's like, I knew it. I was not wrong about you. This is for Dokes. This is for LaGuardia. So they're like strangling each other, basically. Every beat red on both ends. Got their hands wrapped around each other's neck. And Dexter in voiceover is like, I never imagined that I would be dying by the hands of a friend. So both of them are going bright red. It seems like Batista's getting the best of Dexter. And then out of nowhere, boom, 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 boom. Batista's getting shot, and it's fucking Leon Prater shooting him. This motherfucker's smiling as he's shooting him. So Batista falls to the floor on the side next to Dexter. Dexter sits up. Prater shoots at him and misses him. Shoots him like towards his head, misses him. So he gets up. They're shooting. Charlie is grabbing Leon Prater, trying to get the gun from him, and also pulling him out of the vault. Dexter takes one of them like tomahawk or chop, whatever. I'm sorry, not a tomahawk. In my head, I thought it was a tomahawk. Maybe it was. I don't know. It looked like a hatchet. He throws it across the floor, misses Uma Thurman's head. He gets up to run because the vault door is shutting. They get out. It closes just as Dexter gets to it. He's stuck in the fucking vault with all the tokens and Batista. He runs back over to Batista, who is now bloodied, about to expire. And he's like, Batista, I'm so sorry, And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And Batista's like, you're not sorry. And he's like, you did this. And he's like, it's because of you that everyone's dead. It's your fault. And he's like, Dexter, fuck you. And he dies. Batista fucking dies. And Dexter is just, so he screams and it cuts to the credits. And they're playing my song. All around me are familiar faces, worn out play. That's my song. I love that. Tears for Fears and Donnie Darko for the people that know. Anyway, this episode was fantastic, insane. That ending, I was like, damn. Here's my thing. How the fuck is he gonna get out of this vault? How is he gonna get out the fucking vault? My prediction is Uma Thurman. It's going to be Uma Thurman, Charlie, that is going to save him. She's the one that's going to get him out that vault. Now, the way that she's going to get him out, I have no idea, because she's still dealing with Leon Prater outside the vault with that gun. And I'm sure we're going to pick up on that next week. And here's my thing. My mom and I were talking about this after the episode ended. I think it is going to be Uma Thurman, because she had a moment of clarity in that fucking car when she was telling Prater's true tea and basically saying that he owns all they asses. So she's going to get sick of it, because this may be her ticket out of the madness. This isn't going to end well. This isn't going to end well. But let me tell you something. Y'all writers, y'all have fucking did that. This shit was out of control, insane. Episode was amazing. The acting was amazing. Everybody on this cast deserves some type of recognition to the fullest level. You guys are doing an amazing job. Michael C. Hall, you a bad motherfucker. I fucking love this episode. Anyway, stay hydrated. Be nice to each other. Right now, I'm filming this on Saturday night. It's 9 p.m. Stay safe tonight. I love y'all. Let me go return these videotapes.